do you look down on Americans of Mexican descent? So like, if there's someone, Mexicans move to the US and they have children, and their children don't speak Spanish, they're Americanized. They didn't grow up in Mexican culture. Do you kind of look down on them? Like if they come here as a tourist and they can't speak Spanish to you?
I don't understand clearly.
Okay, it's for example, let's say I go to live to the States and I have children over there, maybe with an American woman or a Mexican woman. So my children are raised in the US. They go to school there, they learn English, but maybe they have just little contact with Mexican culture because all their life is in English, right? They're grown, they're raised as Americans, right? So when they come to Mexico as tourists and don't speak the language, even though you can see physically that they are, you know, from Mexico or Latin, do you think people would accept that image of a Mexican person being in Mexico without knowing the language and the culture? Do you think that's acceptable? What would you do if you meet someone like that?
In my case,
that's the point of the question, right?
That's correct.
In my case, I think that I accept this because they have like my sister says, they are equal like us. And it depends on everyone because my way of thinking is different than my sister's way and on your way of thinking. So, in my opinion, it will be like acceptable to me to know about them.
To meet someone like that.
Yes.
I think that it would be interesting and we would learn. I mean, he or she can teach me how to speak English and I can teach him or her. And it's acceptable for me.
Have you ever heard the term Pocho?
What?
Pocho?
Pocho?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Do you guys know what the term Pocho means?
Pocho. You know what a pocho is, right?
No.
A pocho es un pocho. Un pocho es como una persona que vive en Estados Unidos por un tiempo, regresa a México creyéndose como gringo, es un pocho, y que hablan Spanglish, que están como atrapados entre las dos culturas. That's a pocho.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that, for example, my father have a friend, Pocho, and his daughter treat us like
Like
my
a
brother,
garbage.
like yes, not like a garbage. It's like I can talk with you. Yes.
Okay, she thinks she's kind of superior because
Yes,
she's from the US. She was born there.
Yes.
Do they call themselves Pochos or are they called Pochos?
No, I think they're called pochos by Mexican people. I mean, people from here, originally from here. They don't call themselves like that.
Cuando se va un mexicano o un latino a Estados Unidos y ya después tiene familia allá y se legaliza y tiene todos los papeles. El problema que hablamos nosotros tú y yo, que son vienen de somos un pueblo latino que vive en Estados Unidos, se cree americano pero no son americanos.
Yeah, it's difficult for them because they are not for America and they are not exactly for Mexico. So I think it's difficult because for us, for the Mexicans in Mexico, we think we are really Mexican, and I think they are not exactly Mexicans, because if you're Mexican, you need to fight here in Mexico. You need to be strong. You need to si no te gusta, tienes que pelear O sea, nosotros somos verdaderos mexicanos porque vivimos en un lugar difícil y aprendemos, no salimos huyendo a buscar un país mejor. O sea, entonces, nosotros pensamos que...
But it's not their choice if their parents took them.
Okay, you say the kids of that
Right.
person. Yeah. For them, well, for the kids it's another story because they don't decide it, and maybe they have problems because they don't know who is like the Jews, because they don't have,
No tiene identidad.
yeah, they don't have identity, and exactly identity, because they are not really Americans. Maybe like the exactly idea of the American. Ellos no son americanos tal cual, because su familia les inculcó la idea de México. Pero cuando ellos vienen a México, ellos no se identifican aquí. Entonces ni son de aquí ni son de allá.
Right. So have you ever had any interaction with them?
Yeah, I was working on a call center for shopping, telemarketing, and I worked like less than a year. Trabajé casi un año en un call center recibiendo llamadas de Estados Unidos y me tocaba convivir mucho y era en español, entonces yo recibía llamadas de Estados Unidos de latinos que me hablaban aquí. Las reglas de la compañía era que yo tenía que decir que estaba en Estados Unidos, pero no, estaba aquí en México. Entonces ellos me decían cosas, pero sí los notaba completamente, su ideología ya no era la mía, pues. They think completely different, and I don't know, porque ellos, su vida diaria es muy distinta que aquí. Tienen otras comunidades, tienen otra forma de vida, otra forma de ver, tienen la forma de ver de América y es muy diferente a la mía, porque ellos no saben lo que es salir y ver la basura, porque allá a lo mejor no hay basura, ellos no saben lo que es pelearte con un policía de tránsito, tener que dar pagar corrupción para poder vivir. Ellos no viven eso, que es parte de ser mexicano. Ellos viven bajo un sistema completamente diferente, pero con una ideología en teoría mexicana. Entonces, como que su ideología está un poco perdida. Entonces, si ellos vienen para acá, ellos no entienden lo que es ser mexicano. No sé, es difícil.
And if they don't speak Spanish, what do you think about them?
The kids don't speak Spanish?
Yeah, if they don't speak Spanish.
Well, they are more American than Mexican. Yeah.
What's your opinion about it?
Yo tengo familia allá en Estados Unidos, en la parte de Arizona. Y la ventaja que ellos tienen, ellos sí hablan español y hablan inglés. Entonces, ellos están en una etapa de los 18, 20 años. Entonces, al igual, ellos vienen muy seguido para México, para Nogales, Sonora. Entonces, la interacción que hay con ellos, son familias, son mis primos. Yo los veo como mexicanos. Pero un problema que yo creo que se pueden enfrentar a ellos es cuando convivan con americanos, que sus rasgos físicos, su forma de pensar es de un mexicano. Ellos tienen la nacionalidad americana, pero aún así el americano no te va a ver como tal. La ventaja es que ellos hablan español, pero he conocido, como dices tú, que son hijos de mexicanos, pero ellos no hablan español, tienen la ideología y la educación del americano, pero ante el americano siguen siendo latinos. Pues ahí se genera un conflicto porque es una pérdida de identidad. Y ahora sí que no son ni de aquí ni son de allá. Entonces, si no hablan el idioma, ahí es cuando les genera conflictos a ellos. Porque ellos no se quieren creer, o en ocasiones unos ya se creen americanos. y dejan de lado sus raíces. Diferente, por ejemplo, mis primos, ellos siguen visitando para acá, siguen hablando español, pero viven bajo las reglas, el esquema y la educación americana. Pues para ellos no es tan difícil. Entonces, es complicado. Es complicado la situación que tienen que afrontar, ¿no?
Ya vieron la luna, qué bonita.
Oh, it's very low.
A ver si qué.
Lástima que hay un árbol ahí.
Es parte de lo bonito.
No, bueno, yo creo que aquí en este caso es al contrario.
Sí.
Ellos nos ven como inferiores por haber vivido en Estados Unidos.
Oh,
¿Sí?
okay.
En mi experiencia, sienten que no somos, digamos, del mismo nivel.
Okay. Do you look down on Americans of Mexican descent?
Nah.
Like Pochos, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I have family that are out there actually, and no, I don't see down to them at all. I mean, it was a bit funny because I remember when I was a child and my family or my familiars that came from the United States to Mexico. It was a good time because they brought nice gifts and nice cool stuff back then. It was before the TLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I don't look down to them. I mean, I think it's something new, you know, like a new mixture.
What is your opinion about, do you like look down on Mexicans born in the US that don't speak Spanish? I think call them pochos or something?
Pochos,
Yeah, what was your opinion about pochos?
that you look down on phrasal verb, you know, that you look down on people that were born in
the US,
USA,
yeah.
right? And they don't speak Spanish, they
Right.
don't speak English. Okay, but their roots are Mexican, right?
You're right, yeah.
Okay. Well, and what do you think?
I heard different opinions about pochos. They don't want the Mexicans in the state.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of pochos, there's a lot of guys or women that were born in the USA, okay, and their ancestors are from Mexico. They got Mexican blood, and yet when we go down there to visit, you know, they don't want to. You know, even, you know, they're working at Walmart and the last name is Ramirez, right? And you go talk to them and say, something in Spanish? Oh, no. My name is Ramirez, okay? I don't speak Spanish. I mean, that guy is darker skinned than I am, right? And, but, you know, in other words, they don't want to speak the language. You know, and, I'm against that. Because in my book, I think they should speak both languages, you know? One, I mean, you know, their native, their mother tongue language, I would say would be Spanish, you know, even though they were born in the USA. That's my opinion.
Well, so let's say that, because a lot of the time let's say they're third generation.
Okay.
So their grandparents spoke Spanish. Their parents spoke English and Spanish, but then their parents never taught them Spanish. And so it's not their fault they don't speak Spanish. What's your opinion on that then?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, if they weren't brought up, you know, with the Spanish language, you know, I agree with you. I mean, it's a little bit different, you know. But then the bottom line is that let's not forget our roots. Okay, let's not forget where we came from. You know, that's my opinion. I mean, even though they don't speak Spanish, but then they got Mexican blood. Mexican blood is flowing through their veins, through their heart. You know, so there's some of that in there. So they in other words, they should at least try. because of the fact that, say, like in the States, you get a better paying job, if you don't mind me saying it, because of the fact that you're bilingual. Okay? So being bilingual opens up a lot of doors for you in the States. Do you agree?